People they like to post fake pictures online, and it's like in Canada, every Canadian and Canadian government workers, they do this. So even if they're refugees or visa status holders and they're from a different country and they work for the Canadian government, they all do this. Okay, so they go. The only reason they come to America is to buy the products. Literally, they can't purchase those types of products of that quality outside of America, otherwise they have to pay significant shipping fees. So they don't want to do that, so they come here and they try to make money here so they can just spend all their money that they earned on stuff that they can buy. So they basically sell their souls for money, and they target and harass innocent people because there's a lot of bad people who want those people to be harassed because they're just shitty people. But if they're not doing it actively, then I guess they're getting away scot-free, whatever. But anyway, yeah, they got the government was actively interfering by getting this guy named David Nagy to come and flex on me, right? Because I was getting damaged, the mental health damages from the stuff that they were saying and doing to me since I was a kid, since I got here, because they were insanely jealous of me. And then they ended up getting some refugee in here specifically so he can steal the ODSP money from me, so that he can tell everyone back in Hungary that he's still okay and that it doesn't matter if he's a refugee here, it's still fine, he can still make it, and all that money that he stole is his actual money. And every Canadian worker and Canadian government worker and Canadian here, they actually do that. They rent Airbnbs, they post pics when they go on vacation for that short period of time. It's they take a million pictures and then they edit it in Photoshop, or sometimes they just Photoshop all their faces even though they're out in the city and stuff. So they Photoshop parts of their face so they don't look as old or whatever. And then they post it online. And I was and then they say that it's their actual face and they're not trying to scam anyone, but that's what a scam is. And they use all those pictures that they took on their vacations and at Airbnbs and stuff and say this is where we live, this is where we do stuff and everything. And then they tell all their friends or people that they just they would Airbnb a condo, right? And they would throw parties in the condo, and the person who Airbnb'd it would say that it is their condo. They're yeah, this is my condo and we can all party here. And all the people that they don't even know, because they ask all their friends to invite people they don't really know because they want to meet new people, to invite them, to be oh my god, you live in such a nice place, you're so young, you must be from a really good family, so that they'll try to be friends with them or get them to be involved in them some way. And I'm you're insane. That's not even yours. But and then they didn't work with me, and they're why, you have no money but I have more money than you, so you should want to be with me. And I'm and this is everyone in Erica knows, they're all like this. I thought that it was better at higher income brackets. It's not. There's actually no higher income brackets here. I think 6 figures is the most amount of money you can make in Canada. 6 figures, 100,000 K a year is all you can make here. Everything is super overpriced. Everything's overpriced in Canada. It's such a shit deal. Everything is so shitty. I have a feeling the entire Harry Potter series was talking about the Canadian government, on how shitty it is to live in Canada and how nobody wants to work there, and every time they try to govern the area, everything goes to shit. Because if they directly interfered, it might as well be the British Parliament. But I'm it's technically is, and they're no, it's separate government, it's an independent country now, even though they get the head of government of the Queen is directly the one who can authorize things that go into the British colonies or something. It doesn't make sense. To me, I'm it makes no fucking sense what they're doing. And they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're all this because there's all Jewish people here. So many Jewish people here. And they all work in a higher authority position, and they're how come we can't make more money? How come work's capped at 100K? Because you're a fucking Jew. You're a bunch of Jews. And they even lie about their statuses online. If you go on wiki pages and articles of Canadian companies, they just lie about everything. Yeah, because they want to look they think that's what other people in other countries are doing. They're no way you can actually own all those things and do all that. There's no way, I can't do that, so you can't do it either. That's what they're and they're oh my god, you mean yeah, they don't believe it. They don't believe that there are people who make more money than them, and they don't believe that like there are people out there like who are in charge of all those things, and like they're like, no way they're actually that good looking. Like I've never actually personally met somebody who's that good looking, and that means like they're just photoshopping or they have plastic surgery. And I was like, yeah, there are people who are good looking in cosmetic work, but typically people are naturally good looking. You know, it's just weird that you think like that because you're ugly and your family's ugly and everyone around you is ugly. But you know, because you're ugly and your family's ugly, most likely you're only gonna have ugly friends, right? Like attracts like kind of thing, like birds of a feather. But you as an ugly person aren't gonna be friends with a group of hot people. I'm sorry. That's not how things work. But yeah, they're all like that. They like Photoshop everything. They rent hotels and Airbnbs, trying to make it look like it's their property, and they make it look like they have more money than they actually do. The Canadian pastime is to like have their life savings of 10 years, and in grand total it's like $1,200,000, and $1,200, not 1200,000, $1,200 in $100 bills, and they convert some of the hundreds into 20 bills, and they have it like a fan, and they take pics of it and they show it off online. Like, look at how much money I have. And I'm like, yeah, that's literally nothing comparative to people who have a lot of money. And they're like, really, like, you know, like, it's like, they're really golem about it. They're like, it's my precious. Oh my goodness. And I was like, okay, to be honest, if people were wondering what's spending money, it's $4K. $4,000 in spending money. If you should have $4,000 in your wallet in cash at all times. That's spending money. That's actual money. Like, you can afford to have $4,000 in your wallet at all times. 4K, yeah, that's actual spending money. Anything less than that is not actual spending money. You're talking about like petty change. Like, that's what people consider petty change. So 4K is spending money. Other people in Canada who walk around 4K, no, because they can't afford to. Because the most they make, I think, is I think the most anyone made here at any point was like $120,000 to $150,000 before taxes. Everyone here, they hover around 80 to 60K. I think in the USA, that's like just getting by. Like, I mean, you are okay now. You finally made enough money to be okay. You don't have to worry about a lot of things in regarding to your material resources. It's not a lot of money. I mean, I don't have that much money, but at least I know what a lot of money is and what a lot of money isn't. And to David, like $50 would be like, yeah, he would suck dick for $50. Like, that's how much money he thinks that is. I have a feeling David was a tranny who was raping me and stealing from me and thought I was a lesbian. I was like, are you sure I'm the lesbian here? He's either a tranny or a very ugly man. I think it's just a very ugly guy. And I think he might be homosexual. But I am not gonna say anything about that. But yeah, that's what they do here. And I think people in the USA, they're just lying about it just like they are. And I'm like, no, these people actually have their own stuff. That's why they're posting it online. Most normal people do, except you guys are crazy because that's all you have. Like, you threw away your friends and everything that actually mattered to you for money. You sold your soul for money. And so no one really cares about you, and you realize that you need to still meet people and make new friends, and they don't care about any of your material wealth because you also have material wealth. And thus, their conclusion, kill everybody or ruin their material wealth so they will depend on me for the rest of their life. And I'm like, that's a psycho. Yes. I don't know if there's another weirdo following me around, begging for my help. Oh my Jesus. But, yeah, and I had no idea what they were talking about anything, because they were making all this stuff up in their heads, and it had no, like, roots in reality. It didn't coincide with anything. Right? They were just making it up and they wanted it to be true, so they worked really hard to make it true. And I was like, that's not what's going on. Like, basically, they went schizophrenic. Yeah, they're schizophrenic now, they're delusional. But what do you want me to say about that when they were the ones actively hurting me? I think they deserve it. Honestly, I'm like, yeah, because no one like agrees with you because you did something wrong, and you don't even want to admit that you did that, so you couldn't even get better, and now you have a mental illness. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know. Like, all the times like Nick tried to like convince everyone that he's okay now when no one believed him, even though he forced those people to hang around with him all the time. It's like, no, you know what? I have new friends now. And I'm like, Nick, none of these people are your friends or your classmates. They're putting up with you because you live on res, okay? You want resident property. People don't want more problems with you because they know you're gonna steal from them. Like, you think no one can tell? Are you stupid? But yeah. Also, what else am I supposed to say about all of this? Yeah, they thought people faked it and stuff, and I'm like, they don't. Like, they fake being happy with you, but it's just what they picked up on. And like every single person that came to Canada, they don't like the people who are running the government or people they're hiring to run the government or what they're doing here, because no one likes the British. Okay, they're very unlikable people. Excuse me. So they just try to make it here. They can't because the people here are insane. And they leave. And then they just realize people are leaving in drones, and thus they didn't want me to leave because they're like, you're a cash cow. You are a golden goose. Like, we're making so much money off you. And I'm like, that's called stealing. You're stealing money from me. You're gonna have to pay that back one day. You know that? And they're like, what? What do you mean? And they're like, I'm like, are you believing in the fictional stories that you're writing yourself? Like, thanks for making me money, but I don't like you because you're stealing. And I don't want anything to do with you because you're insane. Like, you steal from me, and then you insult me the entire time. You say all these racial slurs, and then you expect me to like you and be your friend after? That's called being insane. You know? I don't get it either. I don't understand what they're trying to tell me. They're like, I'm trying to be like you. I'm like, cause you're insane. Because you did all that stuff. Why don't you look for friends somewhere else where you didn't do those things too? That would be a smart thing to do. You know? And then they try to convince me that it was me that was the problem. And I was like, yeah, I'm the problem where I'm stalking and stealing from people, right? I'm the one that's doing that, not you. And they're like, people can't tell that I'm stealing. I'm like, yeah, because when you steal, you go crazy. Do you know that? Do you know that, like, the more you steal, the less in touch with reality you become? And sooner or later, you're just kind of fucked up in your mind where you're just like, here's reality and the world that everyone lives in, and here's you. The further away you get from reality, the further, more and more crazy you become. And the harder it is for you to be normal again and to be able to participate in society where you can generate an income. I don't want to live here because everything's overpriced in Canada. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to buy toilet paper that's only worth $2? We're gonna inflate the price until it's $20. And you try to buy it or lower the prices at your own store? Good luck getting your store off the ground. We're gonna destroy it. We're gonna cut off the power at inconvenient times. We're gonna steal from you. We're gonna get people to pickpocket from you. We're gonna actually assault you and everyone you care about until you shut down your store, or you can no longer afford to run the store. So you leave the country, so we can continue to ruin this country by selling toilet paper at inflated prices, which is ridiculous and no one should buy for. That's what it's like to live here. They're so stupid and crazy, and they're like, if nobody learns anything, we can make the most money, and no one will know any different. And I'm like, yeah, that's how countries become ruined. Why do you want to ruin everyone's lives? Well, because your life is going terribly and you made mistakes, so everyone has to make the same mistake as you, or an equivalent mistake, in order for them to live here. Otherwise, you're gonna personally see to it that everyone's equal. Even though that's not equal, that's you being crazy. That's weird. And there's another weird guy stalking me. He thinks that we're gonna have sex one day. Because that's all I look for, right? Is to have sex with people. Me, I'm like that. I'm the person who just wants to have sex with everyone that I find attractive. That's the type of person I am. Obviously not. They are so stupid and crazy. I don't know why they even bother getting up in the morning. I'm like, can you stop, like, existing? Like, you're literally cancer. We got cancer on Earth, y'all, and it's these psychopathic, sociopathic, moronic losers with no talent or skills. Only thing they care about is money and ruining other people who aren't like them.